I was about to say I didn't need to know that, and then my mind caught up with me, and now I'm full of trauma.
And another thing. Yeah? Yeah! Ah! Huh? Huh? Really? Huh?
Does that have to do with the price of fish?
Huh? Hmm? Oh.
Even for an interlude thing that was impressively pointless, apart from weirding me out with the news that Monophony might be pregnant, which I didn't need to know, didn't want to know. It's bad thing. It's bad, man.
I
So
feel
bad.
I'm forgetting someone important to me, but I just can't. My head hurts so much. I just can't remember.
Have you forgotten? Maybe that's for the best. From this point forward, let's start a new life for ourselves. After all, our baby is excited to meet his daddy, you know?
Oh god, you're both cubs.
Daddy? Wait, what?
At least
I'm gonna
wait
be a
until you're
father?
scouts. Sorry, my microphone wire is
What a colossal death
shaking.
blow.
It's shaking my mic.
I'll be
It's not
surprised
good.
if he doesn't die after that.
More importantly, let's continue the conversation where we left off.
We understand Mew plotted the murder, but we need to find out who killed her.
And in order to figure that out, we need to understand Mew's actions. So let's discuss her murder scheme step by step.
I know that's important, but hearing you lead the conversation really pisses me off.
Let's see. Mew manipulated the virtual world to use it as part of her murder plan.
Don't just ignore me and start anyway.
If she had succeeded, she would have gone past the wall between the chapel and mansion. And then wham! Murdered me on the roof with the hammer.
She would make the murder seem like it happened in the real world, and then pin it on Kaito.
As for Mew's alibi in the real world, she could say she was locked into the virtual world. And in the virtual world, she could say she was near the chapel the entire time.
It's actually a pretty good murder plan, and also I can hear the audio skipping, so give me a moment while I close various things.
3 hours later.
That should be better.
She'd make an excuse about how she couldn't reach the mansion because of the fallen bridge. She dropped the bridge on purpose so she could separate the chapel from the mansion. Then secretly passed through the wall she installed and took advantage of the loop. After, she headed to where we were supposed to meet up, the mansion's rooftop. Oh yeah, Kaito was probably logged out around that time too.
That's when I saw Mew.
So that's not where her body was.
Problem is, because of her murder plans, we don't even know where she was killed.
She was killed on the roof, right? Kokichi told us the roof door was locked and that he couldn't get through.
Maybe that when culprit killed her.
That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof.
Did the culprit lock the door to the roof?
Perhaps. I don't think Miu did it. If Miu did lock it, she would have done it when she called Kokichi to the roof. Even if someone came up, I don't believe she would change the target of her plan. She knew that Kokichi would come up later. Locking the door would be suspicious.
Well, it's possible she didn't even think that far ahead.
She was smart, but she was also really, really dumb.
No say such mean things! Killing game bad, not Miu. Miu not bad person. Grown to think we could have been friends, if things different.
That might have been difficult, even without this killing game.
That wouldn't happen.
Nuh-uh. No way, Jose.
Huh? Anyway, let's continue the discussion. If Miu was killed on the roof of the mansion, the culprit must have moved Miu's avatar to the chapel after killing her, right?
So the next thing we
Right.
should talk about is how they moved her avatar.
Now we know the mansion and chapel were actually next to each other. But the problem is the wall between them.
Yeah, because Miu can pass it, but nobody else can.
Only Miu was able to go through that wall. The culprit wouldn't have been able to.
Then you're saying the culprit sent Miu's avatar through that wall?
Yeah, that's the only way, right?
But how did the culprit send Miu's avatar through the wall? I mean, it's not like they could have thrown her.
Don't not throw her!
We know. You couldn't because the avatar's physical strength was equalized.
Physical strength equalized? That problem! Gonta no can protect everyone if that happens!
You know, it's weird. Gonta, you do seem to understand quite complicated topics, and yet you have no idea about the virtual reality you literally spend time in.
Jeez, keep up with us. We're already in the second half of the class trial.
How did they send Miu's avatar to the other side of the wall? Maybe that thing has something to do with it. You know, the loud sound you heard? Because of that sound, you guys went to the side of the chapel. Right, Keyboy? That's when you found the dead Miu there, right?
So what? Did they use a catapult?
If so, then I think that sound and her avatar being by the chapel are related.
That's it! I think the sound came from Miu's avatar hitting the chapel wall. The hammer, cell phone, and lattice were there, but they were too small to make that noise. Ruling those out, the only other explanation is that the sound was Miu colliding with a wall.
If that's the case, Miu's avatar must have hit the chapel wall really hard. We felt the impact all the way from the inside of the chapel.
Yeah, that's the real question. Miu's avatar probably hit the chapel's wall with pretty considerable force. But why did it hit the wall with such force? Can you guys figure it out?
Kokichi, do you already know? You need to get
Hold
some
on,
coffee once I'm
Kokichi.
done
What's up
recording
with
this
the way
task.
you're talking? Why are you talking like you know everything?
Let's not worry about that right now. More importantly, we gotta solve the mystery. Fighting among friends is a waste of time.
Friends? Us?
Anyway, can we talk about that after we figure this problem out?
A way of transporting Miu's avatar that would cause it to crash into the chapel.
Hey, Shuichi, as your partner, I'll give you a little hint.
You're what?
Since the mansion was on top of a hill, the roof was pretty high up, right? Past the brick handrail, the roof was at a pretty steep slope. And the slope faced the chapel wall. On top of that, there was snow on the roof. If the culprit needed force to move the body, I wonder how they did it.
Oh god. I actually don't have any idea what the specific words are meant to be. Apparently it starts with S. And then L. Really? You're putting a hidden Monokuma in the Hangman's Gambit? No, roof. I thought it would be wall for some reason, even though that's clearly not right.
I see now. The culprit used the sloped roof as a slide for Miu's avatar. Slide?
Aw, man. Even with the slope and the snow, Miu's body wouldn't have slid.
Wrong. It would slide.
But the avatars can generate friction. We wouldn't have been able to walk otherwise. So I doubt that it would have had that much momentum.
No. It would slide.
It wouldn't slide, just like Maki Roll said.
It would slide, just like Shumai said.
Like Shumai?
Who the hell is Shumai?
Oh, he's a pupil of Ramen Man. Sorry, my hobby slipped in.
And apparently Kokichi's too.
Even if her avatar slid off the roof, would it slide off that quickly?
Well, duh, it would.
If it made that much noise, it must have built up a lot of speed.
Lots of snow piled up on roof.
but not frozen solid, right?
We'd still slide, though.
In the real world, it might be difficult. But in the virtual world, perhaps not.
That's not the issue. Sliding down snow is easy to do. You just need a sled or skis to cut the friction.
There was nothing like that around, though. That's wrong!
No, wait. There was something that could have been used to help slide Mew's body. Do you remember the lattice that was found by Mew's avatar? The culprit laid her on top of that, then used it as a sled on the roof. I did notice the lattice in the storage room when I first looked. But during the investigation, I saw that it was gone.
The lattice that was found next to the chapel is the one that disappeared from the roof?
Yeah, simple.
Then that's it. The culprit used the lattice as a sled.
Ding, ding, ding! That's correct! After the culprit killed Mew on the rooftop, they placed her corpse on a sled and slid her down the roof's steep slope.
The sled picked up speed, flew off the roof, glided through the wall only objects could pass through, and hit the chapel.
The impact made all of her belongings scatter, including the hammer and cell phone.
Just like that hedgehog who loses all his rings whenever he crashes into stuff.
Ooh, Knuckles. I'm sorry, Knuckles isn't an echidna. What am I saying?
I hate that guy and his worldwide fame and his stupid games, and I hate that hedgehog!
Daddy, I'm glad you're feeling motivated again, but you shouldn't be so hateful. You gotta be an example to our new family.
Yeah, Father. Or should I start calling you grandfather now?
Now that we know how the body slid down, we're just one step away from the culprit. Well, Shuichi, do you know who the culprit is?
Yeah. In the end, we'll still need to guess the culprit, huh?
But Gonta can't believe one of us killed Mew.
However, since we know she was killed on the roof, we can narrow down the list of suspects. Meaning, the culprit must be someone who was investigating the mansion.
Yeah, seems solid.
Aside from you, the people at the chapel could not go through the wall or cross the river.
So that means the suspects are Kaito, Samugi, Shuichi, and Gonta.
That's not Kaito, he was logged out.
That's real sneaky, leaving yourself off the list.
Oh, you got me.
I don't know. Kaito?
Damn it!
Yeah, dude, I think you're a fraud right now, too.
It's you!
Kokichi, there's something I need to know.
What do you need to know?
Why did you lie just now?
Which lie are you talking about, Shuichi? I lie a lot, so you'll need to jog my memory.
Fine. I'll expose your lie right now. It was that testimony that bothered me.
Really? Really? We're doing this? Okay, fine. That's probably what happened. The culprit killed her on the locked roof. Well, that happened. Also, I never went to the roof. Let's say this one.
I see it! When you were explaining that the door to the roof was locked, you said... But later, you said... That's a lot of specific information. Stuff you wouldn't know if you hadn't been there.
Oh yeah! Now that you mention it, how did you know all that stuff?
You could probably see the steep slope of the roof from outside the mansion. But you wouldn't know about the brick handrail unless you went up to the roof yourself.
Huh? What?
What's this all about, Kokichi? Did you actually go to the rooftop?
Yeah, he clearly did.
I didn't. I already told you that before.
Why you look so nervous?
Is this a sincere reaction?
But there's no evidence that proves I went to the roof. Oh, wait. I remember now. That thing Himiko said.
Me?
At the start of the class trial, I remember you saying the handrail was made of bricks. Ooh, you so clumsy, girl. Gotta be more careful there, Himiko.
Is it my fault?
Himiko really say that?
I don't think she did. It's been a while.
She totally said that.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She did not.
She did too.
Then when? Tell me how long ago. In hours, minutes, and seconds.
What a worthless fight!
Stop him, Grandpa! All this terrible fighting is bad for the babies!
Yeah, Grandfather. Stop them before your grandkid is born.
You're as traumatized as me by this, aren't you, Monokuma?
I'm not gonna apologize, cause Himiko said it.
So damn stubborn.
How much longer are you going to behave like this?
I didn't go to the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
Liars burn in hell, you know.
If you're lying, I'll set your pants on fire!
That's fine, because I'm not lying.
Then why do you look so nervous?
Yeah, I know, I just
I
wanted to
didn't go to
see.
the roof.
I've had enough of your lies, man.
I'm not lying. The rooftop door was locked and I couldn't open it.
So what did Kokichi do?
I turned back at once, of course. And stayed in the salon the whole time, you know?
I'll reveal the truth. Kokichi, you're lying right now, aren't you?
Huh? Lying about what?
Just before the murder occurred, I went to the salon to check on you. But you weren't there.
What? Really?
I waited there for a while. You never showed up.
What's this all about, Kokichi?
You're going to hell for lying. Just like
Didn't you
Kokichi.
go right back to the salon after finding the roof door locked?
I see. You use underhanded tactics too, huh, Shuichi? So who are you guys gonna believe? Shuichi or me?
Well, of course I'm gonna believe Shuichi.
I believe Shuichi 100%.
The one who's not Kokichi.
100 house points. Oh, no. Himiko points to Shuichi.
But to go to the salon, Shuichi would need to pass by me in the dining room. I wonder why I didn't notice Shuichi there. Oh well, I'll believe Shuichi anyway. He's usually right about stuff.
Sorry, but I'm going to believe Shuichi too.
I see. I wanted at least Gonta to believe me.
What comes around goes around. That's what happens to liars like you.
Why do you guys hate lies that much? There's only one truth, but endless possibilities for lies, you know? And some of them are only white lies, or lies to be kind to people. If you deny all of that just because it's a lie, then that means you guys are just terrible at being lied to. Seriously, the worst!
Just spit it out already. You went to the roof, didn't you?
Isn't that where he met up with Mew?
No, he didn't just meet her there. He probably...
Okay, fine. I'll tell you if you want to know that badly. Consider this my revenge.
Revenge?
You got some balls lying to me. I'm gonna take away your fun for pissing me off, Shuichi. I won't let you do any detective work, or deduction, or mystery solving, or anything.
Oh?
So, I'll confess everything. You guys better listen carefully.
Confess?
Really? Confess?
A confession? So you are the culprit after all.
I came up with a plan after Mew asked me to meet up with her. She asked me pretty eagerly, too, so I decided to pry some info out of her. She gave me the rundown of the virtual world before she explained it to you guys. As I listened, I realized she was planning a murder. On me, no less. When I investigated the virtual world, I found out that a person can die from shock. Without a doubt, she planned to use that for my murder. So that's when I decided to prepare my own crime with her plan. I pretended to cooperate with her and lured everyone into the virtual world. That's also why I worked together with Monokuma.
You worked together with Monokuma?
I guess the jig is up. Yeah, everything he said is true. Kokichi came to me with an idea to make the killing game more interesting. It was such a good idea, I decided to place a motive in the killing game simulator.
You added a motive? Then the secret of the outside world is the motive, right?
No fair! Monokuma can't take sides!
I didn't help him with anything, and I had nothing to do with the murder itself. He merely suggested a way to spice up the killing game, and I accepted. Kokichi and I had a quid pro quo relationship. Technically, that doesn't violate the rules.
Bullshit! No matter how you look at it, you guys are working together.
Calm down. I'll explain my relationship with Monokuma, so let me finish my confession.
I'm fine with that, but you're confessing without much of a fight.
I told you. I'm gonna get in the way by taking away the mystery-solving fun. If I can't win this game, then I'll make it boring for everyone. That's my revenge. Well then, the culprit is Gonta.
Really?
What?
Really? We're gonna leave things there. Do the thing with liking and subscribing. Goodbye.